Wasn't sure if he was going to stop, to be honest. Okay, there's the driver's license. They'll also ask for the ORCR, obviously. Looks like that's the ORCR, so they're writing out the ticket now, the lady enforcer. Just realized there's a couple more motorcycles in the background there. They also just left the bus lane. Usually what happens is they're in the middle, and then once they see the enforcers, they start riding the line, or like that one, look, he went all the way over to avoid being apprehended. But another enforcer has blocked him. That's why it's often challenging when it comes to motorcycles, because they're very easy to maneuver between traffic. At first this rider tried to show a law enforcement ID, and now he's handed over his license instead. Looks like there's a private car in the background. He's seen all the motorcycles being ticketed, and obviously he's leaving the bus lane. But really, what's the point? Because they've already seen you, so they're definitely going to flag you down to the side for ticketing. He put himself all the way on the other lane over there. Hopefully my voice is okay. I'm wearing a heavy mask for pollution, so I have to speak a little bit louder. Oh, there you go, he gave the license straight away, so at least there won't be any fight. They'll also ask for the ORCR, of course. A lot of people have been surprised recently because they've been mixing up their time and location of their operations. So a lot of people thought, oh, I know where they're going to be today. I know what time they'll be there. And then actually a lot of people are getting surprised with tickets for misusing the bus lane. And I have seen some comments where people say, oh, why don't you just wave them out of the bus lane? You should be helping people, not ticketing them. I've seen different enforcement agencies, various enforcement agencies, give warnings to people, wave people out of the bus lane, and the result was always the same. That once they got past the enforcers, they went straight back into the bus lane. And that's why they issued tickets, because it acts as a deterrent from using the bus lane in the first place, or from using it again if you got caught. Okay, he's seen the enforcers, he's leaving the bus lane, pulling him off to the side now, or trying anyway. He keeps pushing to the right, and the enforcer keeps pushing him back to the left. Actually, before this operation started, they did block an SUV inside the bus lane because someone had radioed ahead that they saw the car. But when they opened the windows, there was a lady that was pretty much at the back, so they let them through. People often ask, are you allowed to use the bus lane if it's an emergency? In the past, there have been people who lied. They've said there's an emergency, and then later they've admitted there was no emergency. So I just advise caution. If it's a life or death situation, then do what you feel is necessary and safe. And at the end of the day, honestly, if there's a life at stake, I think you will not even be worried about a ticket. You will be more worried about the life, whether it's someone dying or a baby that's being born imminently. So use your conscience, even regardless of the law. Use your conscience and operate in good faith, and then deal with the consequences later if you have to. But I can tell you that during genuine emergencies, they are very reasonable. That one with the flapping in the wind put himself all the way to the inside. The enforcer's going to move in, try and apprehend him. No plate on that vehicle that's marked as an ambulance, which is actually very common. I'll show you through this video how many ambulances and PTVs pass through without license plates. It is extremely common. The reason why they flag them over is for verification. If they have a patient, trip ticket, something like that, then they'll be on their way within literally 10 seconds. But sometimes they do find emergency vehicles that are being used for the wrong purpose, so that's why they just do a quick verification. And it's very hard to register a vehicle as an ambulance because of the required equipment, trained medical personnel, and so on. That's a rider that left the bus lane. They're going to try and pull him off to the side. Appears to be compliant. Never gets old seeing the buses beating the traffic. And a lot of people. It's amazing, right? So this EDSA busway has existed for years, and there's so many people using it, but every day I meet people who are riding it for the first time. It's amazing. But then when you realize how many millions of people are in Metro Manila, I guess it's not that amazing after all. But I just love hearing the feedback from people who tried it for the first time and they're like, what? It's like this? I just get on the bus, it's so easy. I can relax, watch a movie on my cell phone, and then that's it. No traffic, no stress. Although of course there are still challenges with the last mile, intermodal between different forms of public transport. So there is room for improvement, but it is still pretty awesome. Our rider's looking at the enforcers. Hopefully he's not going to try anything crazy. I think he's not. He has slowed down. Usually when people are going to run away, they try to maintain their speed. So yeah, he did go to the side without any fight, which is good. Makes things a lot easier. There was a guy earlier, actually the one in the car, the TNVS driver. He was complaining because he said there was someone else that they didn't manage to catch. What are they doing? What are they doing? Ano ba? If ever you have a legitimate reason to be in the road, for example, I don't know, maybe DPWH sent you there to get a measurement, it's much better to ask one of the nearby fixed post enforcers like the MMDA to assist you and to man the traffic while you're doing that, for your safety and for everybody else's safety really. One of the things you will notice, and this is very common, is that the service lane is very, very light, but then there's quite a heavy volume on the flyover, and that is one of the problems that they've tried to combat in the past, is to get better distribution of vehicles instead of everybody cramming into the flyovers and the tunnels.